The Son becomes the Father. The Father becomes the Son.
Generation Landslide.
La da 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 da.
Here's an interesting idea. The worst of the best. You take the absolute best bands ever. Groups that nobody would say, oh, that band sucks. No. You take the best bands and you showcase their worst. That's right. The worst of the best. The offenders. The biggest offenders by the greatest bands. We decided to tackle it, and this is the results. My dad, John Hipperson, is in studio. And good evening, my friend.
Hey, Joe.
No, I mean, come on, I just built you up. Yeah, so
I know you did.
Yeah.
I just said, hey.
Well, hey, how you doing? You excited?
I enjoy this. And you're passionate about this, I can tell, because you're animated behind the mic all the time.
Right now, my dad just did a dance. That's so stupid. I don't do
that. You do that.
Listen, I do because I'm excited.
You're very animated, and it shows. You're passionate about the show.
Well, it's good. After 31 years, my dad now can say something he knows about me. That's excellent. I appreciate that. I was a joke.
Thanks.
I reserve it for you, actually. Yeah,
so you let loose on a Saturday night, right?
Yes, I let loose on a Saturday night. You know what?
There you go.
I'll tell you how crazy I am. On Saturday nights, I host a talk show on AM radio. That's how crazy I get, man. Yes, there are so many different things I want to get into tonight, and I'll give you a little bit of a tease, right? We're going to do something. Now, Josh, you can take full credit for it. You know which idea I'm talking about.
I do.
All right, Josh, the engineer extraordinaire, is going to take full credit for the idea that we are calling the worst of the best. Eventually, this evening, we're going to show you. Or do you want to do it? It's your idea.
All right, I'll take it from here, Joe.
Well, thank you, Josh.
Now, it was my idea based off of a song that I was listening to in the car the other day from an artist. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to tell you what the song was.
Good tease.
But it was an artist that is one of my personal favorites, personal favorite of the show, personal favorite of anybody who's ever listened to music. And this song was just so grating. And I turned to the guy in the passenger seat with me. We were driving down the street, and I said, "Why are we listening to this? And why do I always listen to it when it comes on? I hate this song."
I'm not trying to interrupt you. I am. I am really interrupting you. Okay, so are we doing songs that could also be, because I found out when I picked mine that they are also kind of a guilty pleasure?
Well, yes, of course. I'm sure that this song, I'm not going to turn it off.
Right.
Because I'll listen to it, but I just don't like it. I don't think it's a good song.
And you're saying it's the worst song by one of the best bands.
By one of the best artists, best bands that I personally love. So I pitched the idea. Joe loved it. We're going to take care of it tonight.
I think every band, all right, Dad, would you agree? Every band's got that one song. Every band has their Beth by Kiss. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I mean, we could go 5 hours discussing the worst songs by groups, but I wanted what Josh wanted, which is the best, some of the best bands ever. You got to find the worst song they ever did. And at first it was kind of difficult because I thought, I love these bands so much, I don't want to say anything negative about them, and I did try. By the way, to anyone that listens and knows everything you think you know about me, I did try to find a Pearl Jam song that I hated. And I'm sorry, they don't exist. There are no bad songs. I mean,
could find one.
I'm sure you could. But I came
Bugs?
close. Bugs?
Bugs.
No, it's brilliant. No, you don't understand. Bugs is like that one, like Revolution 9 on the White Album. That's what that is.
Hey, Foxy Mop Handle.
Okay, that's different. Okay. Right. What I'm trying to say, though, is I did try, and there was one, Dissident, off of Versus.
Everybody loves that song.
And I'm not saying it's the worst song they ever wrote, because I don't think they've ever written a bad song, but that is a track that I will always skip. I cannot stand it. It sounds so self-indulgent, the way it starts out with a guitar solo. I'm just done with it. Over. Jeremy?
Can't listen to Jeremy on time.
Why?
Just because it was overplayed. Overplayed.
Well, it is an amazing song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
But
I'm waiting for the but.
Was a good song.
Pearl Jam is the end of everything, right? I mean, they are the greatest band in the world, right?
No, okay. To me, right now, they are one of my favorite active. That's key, right? That's key. They're one of my favorite active bands.
They're a good band.
Okay, I'm waiting for you to be like, however.
No, there's no however. They're a
go
good
ahead.
band.
Tell everybody in the studio.
Soundgarden was a good band that came out. Pearl Jam was a good band. Alice in Chains, great band.
Well, no. Okay, first off,
Jane's Addiction.
One thing was completely bogus. You just said that Pearl Jam and Soundgarden were good bands. Alice in Chains, a great band.
Yeah.
How can you put Alice in Chains above?
I liked Alice in Chains a lot.
Better than you would Pearl Jam?
Probably equal, maybe a little better.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, it is. It's sick. And I'll tell you what, there's something that we're going to jump into eventually, and we're going to do it this hour. Please verify, Mr. Dan Keller, my right-hand man, we didn't script anything about tonight's show.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Except for that one bit that Josh.
Okay, so listen.
Except for Pearl Jam's the greatest band, right?
Yes.
But that's every show.
That's not scripted. It's etched in stone. All right, and it's sitting outside here at Westport.
I would just like to say I'm very excited to have Mr. Hipperson in here.
Well, don't call him that.
John Hip.
There you go.
John Hip, because clearly what we've been on for 8 minutes, clearly he is not going to pander to you at all.
No, he's not.
And that's going to be great.
Well, thanks. Well,
that is
what
good radio.
Yeah, what are you trying to say subtly about the other shows we've done then?
No, I'm not trying to say
nothing.
anything.
No.
Okay, all right, good. No, it's great. Alice in Chains, you say, are a great band, and the reason I am bringing this up over and over is because this hour there's something I need to talk about, and I need to just get it out there, okay? Honestly, I think that Joe Perry has got the biggest brass ones out of anybody else in the history of music because of what he's doing with Aerosmith. And I want to go around the room with this, and we're going to have to do a commercial break and whatnot, but I'm teasing ahead because Alice in Chains fall into that.
Their lead singer.
Well, their singer's dead, so obviously they got to do something.
Exactly.
But think about it. Alice in Chains right now, to me, that new album has only one decent song. Their active single right now sounds very much like a song that could have been on Jar of Flies, the best album that band ever put out. But when you come up with a new lead singer and a new album and you start touring with it and the singer sounds so eerily like the old one, you sound like a tribute band and you don't sound like Alice in Chains should.
Exactly.
Because getting back to Journey, Journey did the same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
That's lame. Didn't they do a contest for INXS? Was it?
Yes.
It was on TV.
Who the hell cares that much about INXS? I think a name is the identification of that group, and if you lose certain members, you shouldn't go by the same name.
Exactly.
It's not the same band anymore.
You know, I'll tell you what, I definitely fell in love with Steve Perry. The mullet
totally.
in the 80s.
Sometimes you can be
Sherry.
sometimes you can be so sarcastic, right? And you're so good at it. I think you're being serious, but
Yeah, but
you're
he does
completely
like
full of it.
ABBA.
He does.
I'm just surprised that Journey made it so far into the 80s with the advent of the music video, because that was not a group of attractive
You
men
are
at
absolutely
all.
right.
All right. Well,
I tell you, a band who changed their lineup a lot was Deep Purple. Remember
Okay.
Deep Purple? They changed the lineup quite a bit. They had Deep Purple 1, 2, 3, or whatever. They like to call them that because they had a bunch of deep changes in the band.
I'll tell you, the worst offender would have to be, wouldn't Leonard Skinner be the worst offender of changing members over and over again?
Well, by necessity, they had to change.
No,
I mean,
only by greed, if you ask me, because necessity, like everyone's really begging for it. I mean, you had one version of Leonard Skinner. If you can't have that anymore, then be done with it.
I still think that they carry on a legacy. They're just carrying on a legacy.
And you think that's important to have people up there butchering what used to sound great?
I think they're enjoying what they're doing, and I think people are coming to watch them play.
That's a shame. They are still selling tickets.
Yeah.
Well, that's because there's a lot of white trash out there. It's because people drink Bush out of cans. That's why. This is Joe Hipperson, and I am telling you to stick around because every commercial break we take, when we come back from it, we've had my dad select every single song that gets played. So the soundtrack of this evening is brought to you proudly by John Hipperson.
Generation Landslide.
I just like the discussion. You know, you start bringing up stuff, and then we have a discussion about it, get a couple of phone calls and stuff like that. That's fun.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love doing that, and I love the fact we've done some shows, honestly. If you remember, we did one once all about the Beatles. We did an entire show about the Beatles.
We did.
So we've got something courtesy of Josh, my engineer extraordinaire, something we've never done before that I cannot wait to cover, and that is the worst of the best. And I want you, everyone listening, to think about this. Think of the greatest bands of all time. Bands that, without a doubt, everyone would sign off and say, well, you know what? Yeah, that's one of the greatest bands ever. But think about the worst moment that band's had. The worst song they've written, okay? Every band's tried to cover a song. Maybe they shouldn't have done it. Aerosmith come together. But every once in a while, you know, people, you know, they write a song. And I mean, the band is just phenomenal. And they put out this. Now it's Josh's turn to play for us his worst of the best. And before he says anything, I think my dad and I might cry or we might get very violent during this part of the segment. Josh, please take it away. God.
Oh. No.
Playing with fire, son.
Yeah, he is.
Now, let me preface this by saying the Beatles are my favorite band of all time.
Okay.
Best band that's ever existed. But I'm sitting in the car, I'm listening to the White Album, and this comes on, and about a minute into it, I was like, what the hell am I listening to? Why was this included? This is why I don't like Paul.
Whoa.
This is why John is my favorite.
This is why John's your favorite?
Because Paul comes up with songs like this, Martha, My Dear.
Okay, while John Lennon is doing your blues.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. While John Lennon is trying to come clean off of doing the smack.
All right.
Paul is sitting here at a piano, apparently with a jug band in his living room. coming up with Obla Di Obla Da, talking about Diamond Ring.
Wow.
I mean,
You must not be a big fan
on.
of silly love songs either, right?
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
Well, Paul McCartney is responsible for one of the worst Christmas songs of all time. You know what I'm talking about, right? Wonderful Christmas Time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think about the balls. Honestly, you've got John Lennon doing "Happy Christmas, War is Over," and what does Paul McCartney answer with? "Wonderful Christmas Time."
I'll follow him on the Uncle Albert stuff. I like that song a lot. But, you know, he does get a little weird.
Say what you will about Paul McCartney, okay? Because you're going to anyway, and you'll be doing. As long as this show's around, as long as we keep doing what we do, I know you'll continue to tell me that Paul McCartney is
The Lesser Beatle.
the lesser Beatle. I think Paul McCartney's great. He is, to me, what?
They
What is it, Dad?
complimented each other. They had to. They complimented each other.
And I think the majority of the 1970s, when and this is why it absolutely sucks that John Lennon is no longer with us, because I think in the 70s they didn't exactly do their best solo work. I am not a fan at all of a lot of John Lennon's solo work. I'm really not. And I think that Paul McCartney didn't really know who he was yet. I mean, Band on the Run is amazing.
Ram.
Ram is good too. But I think Paul McCartney, honestly, recently has been doing more good stuff than he has been doing bad. I mean, what he did with the Third Fireman record is insane. I think Memory Almost Full is one of his greatest solo records ever.
We live in a country where John Lennon takes 6 bullets in the chest. Yoko Ono was standing right next to him. Now, what f***ing bullet? Explain that to me. Explain it to me, God. Explain it to me, God. I want it explained to me now, Jesus.
Generation Landslide.
We haven't got to mine yet.
No, but what do you want me to do? I mean, do you want me to be like one of the guys that guys are playing in, and I gotta like make signals to you? Or do you want smoke signals? I'll get a flare. I'll do that and say this wouldn't use time for you to
Well,
talk.
actually, you turned to me and I agree with you. We haven't heard my song yet.
Right.
Okay.
So okay, I just don't.
So
think
is that a
we,
lead-in? We're going to play it now?
I don't think we need 20 seconds of dead air before you say anything. We've got Discotheque. That was my pick by U2. And the blasphemous Obla Di Obla Da, picked by Josh, the engineer extraordinaire. Still feel that way, don't you?
Absolutely.
That is a damn shame. Now we go to my dad for his pick. Dad, please take it away. The show is yours.
This is Kokomo by the Beach Boys.
Man, I don't think anyone.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of this song,
Well, who
obviously.
the hell is a big? I think the only guy that likes this song is John Stamos. I think he's the only one who likes it.
I mean, when you look at the Beach Boys and their surf music and good vibrations,
Pet
and
Sounds.
student demonstration time off of Surf's Up, great music. This does not qualify for that. You know?
All right. Well, okay. Give it a little bit more volume there, Josh.
I mean, this is
listen to-
Mike Love, isn't it? Mike Love influence.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's that massive wet reverb of the drums that I cannot stand. So many great bands. The Beach Boys, very good group. A lot of great groups fell victim to the massive 1980s overproduced wet drum reverb. If you want to know what I'm talking about, pick up the Rolling Stones and listen to Rock at a Hard Place. Absolutely disgraceful. Cannot stand. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? That were in the 80s. I don't know what the hell they were thinking on the drum mix of all these songs. So many bands, they just sounded
They
weird.
came out of the disco area, didn't they? They started playing some of this stuff.
Well,
like Miss You by the Stones,
I-
disco influenced.
It is very disco.
Do you
influenced.
think they
I
were-
like "Miss You" by the Stones, to be honest with you.
I don't mind the song, but I'm saying I think they went in a different direction after disco for some reason.
Okay.
And I guess it's all marketing, sales, money. I like the Beach Boys. I really do like the Beach Boys. This song, I can't associate with the Beach Boys.
Generation Landslide, close the gap between them, and I laugh to myself.